Mr. Bradshaw at AddSomeToYourIncome.com here. Very excited. I just got the email saying I've been granted a $3,500 grant. Oh, this feels great. I want to share in this excitement and talk about how this has come about, explaining what it took to get into a grant, why this is important and how it's going to help out my kids, and some of the things that I have to keep in mind because it is a grant that is kind of set in a very specific way. So this grant, I got an email I almost deleted. Okay, and there have been a few times in my life when I'm dealing with money and ways to add to my income that I've almost deleted the email. And this email came, it was one of those pass along emails from someone else, and it said something about a grant, an educational grant, and I almost didn't even read it, almost deleted it because I was busy with schoolwork and all that. I'm glad that I have been building AddSomeToYourIncome.com because I now see the world differently. I just had a quote today in another email that talked about how it's often about the focus, paying attention. The quote is from Diane Sawyer, and it goes like this: I think the one lesson I've learned is that there is no substitute for paying attention. Thank you, Diane Sawyer. I have trained my brain to watch for opportunities to add to my income. The second thing happened as I opened the email and I began reading is I was skeptical. It sounded almost unreal. Is this for real? Because as it described the grant, it said it would base on income for most of the people getting the grant, but it would consider everyone, and that it could be up to the $3,500. It was simple. It said, and that was one of the things about it too. I was like, this is so simple. It said it was for educational expenses, which could include purchasing of devices, purchasing curriculum, tutoring, paying for your high-speed internet. It was fairly simple, and it could be for any of your students in school. So I look into this. This is federal funds have been given to the state. The state has then put it into a grant where you just need to apply. The application process, really simple. I simply needed to show evidence that my children were in school by showing current enrollment, and then show my last year's tax return, just the one page that does a summary of it, which of course gives out a lot of information. So I'm double checking that this is a valid spot. This is actually through the state. This is real funds. This is really happening, to find out that it was. So I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to do it alone. I'm going to make sure that, particularly the buddy that I work with, who's a fellow teacher as well, with 4 kids about the same age, is also in on this. I need to give him an email next. When I end here, I'm going to email him and see if he got his news. So he applied, I applied, and it was not easy. Okay, there was, I thought it would be pretty easy to just get proof of enrollment that my kids are in school, especially because I have 2 of my kids at the school that I'm teaching at. However, it still was some hoops and some get to the right person. Took a couple of phone calls, took a couple of emails, so it was a bit of work. I would say I probably spent an hour and a half on it. I got $3,500. Let me figure out how much that is per hour. Wow. That's really good pay, right? The grant does require, so to get reimbursement, I'm going to have to get some receipts in there. So the work isn't done yet. I've just been told about the money. I'd say I'm probably going to put in upwards of, because I put some time in after that to follow up with it, do a little bit of homework on it. I don't know. I probably put 7 to 10 hours total just to make sure, because a grant often means, and this one does, that you have to report back, you have to use exactly what they want to. There's a little bit of red tape. There just is, but oh, it feels so good. It feels so good to think when I finish bringing those receipts in and putting them in there. There's a step where I have to connect it to my bank account, and I have to trust people too, right? There's that trust that this is gonna work out. Anyway, so get the receipts in, get some money back, find some materials that are through the actual website, and or find some vendors like tutors and stuff, and it's just going to enrich my kids' lives. And it makes me feel so great to know I took those steps, and I'm going to be able to spend some money on my kids. You know, like, it's exciting to think about. And my kids' future is going to be better because we're going to have some resources. It frees up some money to be able to live life a little bit better and not so tight. It's been really tight around my place with 6 mouths to feed, and we live off of my teacher income so my wife can stay at home and care for the kids, which has been so important at this time where we've done online learning. And my wife has been able to be there. She says it's a full-time job. She works from like 8 to 4, 4:30 every single day when it's a school day to help the 4 children to be in the classes they're supposed to be in and do the homework that they're supposed to be doing. And she is working really hard. And it's been such a blessing in my life and my kids' life to know that she is there to work with them. And because of that, it's been tight. You know, you hear about budget, you hear about people that hold on to their money with a vice-like grip. You hear these phrases like as tight as paper to a wall or bark to a tree, and that's better than what it is for me. I felt like misers at time. I felt like we're just like we hold on to it. We don't go out to eat. We don't go in entertainment. We don't really spend money on things. We're just so tight. We're uptight, and it feels, it hurts. You know, it hurts so much. And now to know that there's some funds, my heart is full of gratitude, and I'm so hoping that people out there who are catching into my messages about adding to your income, that if you felt that like tightness, that you can know that there are ways to add to your income, to focus on that side. Double check that you're in the black. That's why I wear black. I had a stylist tell me to stop wearing black. It's too big of a contrast. And I'm currently putting myself in front of this white screen, and it's too starch, she says. But for me, it's my message. I'm not living in the red. I'm living in the black. And I am a man in black, like Johnny Cash, right? I hope that you will get to the point that you're a person in the black. If that grant information comes to your email and you just delete it, you can recover it from the trash. You can find out what it takes to apply for the scholarships, grants, and for donations to come to you. Take the trust that's needed to trust but verify, is what one of my co-teachers said. Not co-teacher, but another teacher in the building. She says, trust but verify. And I love that. So I trusted that this was valid. I was skeptical though, so I verified. And I know that it's valid, and I know that these are funds that are available coming from the state through this grant that I have filled out. And I know that there's someone who's going to watch this, who's going to trust but verify that there really is a grant or a scholarship or donation money that's there that you qualify for in your situation, and you're going to apply. And a few weeks later, because that's what it's been, this is a few weeks later, you're going to get an email like I just got an email telling me that I'm receiving $3,500. It's more than a month's worth of pay for me in one go. So I just got on here excited, and I look forward to seeing you on the other side.